Well, good morning. Thanks for joining me for practice today. So, if you're not already at your seat, go ahead and come into your seat. As usual, you might be sitting cross-legged, similar to how I'm sitting. You could also be sitting up on a cushion or sitting on your heels with your knees bent. So, take a moment to land into your seat, and just start by closing your eyes and guiding your attention inside your body. Begin to check in with how you're feeling today. If there are any injuries that you're working with, as always, you can skip anything that's not appropriate for your body today and just allow yourself to rest anytime that occurs. Anytime we're doing a posture that's not appropriate. And so, as you're checking in and noticing if you have any injuries, there may be other areas of the body that are just a little bit sore or tender from activities of previous days. And so, just check in and notice how you're feeling. And then we'll guide our palms together in front of the heart. And as we interlace the fingers, we'll now press the palms forward and up. And begin to reach up through one hand and up through the other side, left and right, side to side. Mm. All right, let your hands separate. Take them behind your back. Interlace the fingers there. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open up across the chest. Begin to find a sense of opening across the chest and into the shoulders. Let the head turn side to side. And then lift the chin up and drop it down. Again, lifting up and dropping down. And then once more lifting up and dropping down. All right, as you bring your head back up to center, one moment. All right, as you bring your head back up to center, go ahead and release the arms. Let your right hand come down to rest on the floor. We'll take the left hand to the left shoulder and start to rotate. A couple of times in one direction. And a couple of times the opposite way. All right, and then sweep that left arm up alongside the head. Reaching with the left hand, squeeze and release the fingers, as well as rotate through the wrist. A couple of times each way. All right, and then inhale as you lift up. Exhale, release the left hand down. Walk it out a little bit. Leaning into that left hand, take the right hand to the right shoulder and start to rotate. A couple of times in one direction. And a couple of times the opposite way. All right, and then sweep the right arm up alongside the head. Reaching with the right hand, squeeze and release the fingers a few times, as well as rotate through the wrist a few times each way. And with your next in-breath, lift up. And as you breathe out, release your hand. All right, so we'll shift onto hands and knees. And as you come to hands and knees, take your hands underneath your shoulders, knees close together. And then we'll lift the left knee up and out to the side and begin to rotate through the hip. So drawing a circle here, Couple of times in one direction. And a couple of times the opposite way. And then with your next inhale, reach the left foot back. Exhale, pull the left knee into the chest. Again, inhale, left leg back. Exhale, knee into the chest. And one more, breathing in and breathing out. And then as you take your left leg back this time, just keep it lifted up into the air, about the same height as your torso. And then shift your weight to your left hand as you take the right arm forward. Begin to navigate balance, reaching with the right arm back through the left leg. And then take the right arm out to the side. And then right hand to the low or middle back. And then back out to the side. And forward. And then down to the floor. Now cross your left leg over the right leg, drop the toes. Curve the spine to the right. You might also spin your fingers out to give your wrists a little bit of a break here. As you create this side bend, sensing all the way up the left side of the body. All right, bring the torso back to neutral. Pick the left leg up. Take it all the way out to the left side. So it's directly out from your hip, out to the side. And then walk the hands in, lifting up. Take the left hand to rest on the left leg. And right arm up alongside the head. All right, with your next breath in, lift up. Breathing out, release that right arm. And then we'll step the left foot forward into a lunge. So take 1 or 2 steps forward and start to shift your hips forward so you create this sense of stretch between the knees. All right, right hand down to the floor. Scoot the right knee back just a little bit. Left hand comes up to the left leg as you begin to gently twist the spine towards your left leg. Hips are still dropping down and forward. You can always make it less intense if needed by moving the hips back a little bit, moving in and out of that sensation. All right, take 3 more cycles of breath. All right, then release back to hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees. Take your hips up into the air. Lift and lower the heels a few times, checking in with the feet and ankles. Up into the legs. Up into the torso. Feeling into the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Spread the fingers wide apart. Take a deep breath in as you come forward into plank pose, so your shoulders come over your wrists. And then breathing out, lift back up into downward dog. All right, inhale, release down to your knees. And then exhale, untuck your toes, sit back towards your feet into child's pose. Now, as you come to fold over your legs, you can take your legs as wide as you need to here. So for some of us, it's a little more comfortable to take the knees kind of wide apart so there's a little more room for the torso to rest. But if you're more comfortable with your knees together, that's also fine. All right, take 3 cycles of breath. All right, after your third breath, bring yourself back up onto hands and knees back together. This time, right knee lifts up and out to the side and start to rotate. A couple of times in one direction and a couple of times the opposite way. All right, so the next in, reach your right foot back. Breathing out, pull the right knee into the chest and round the back. Again, inhale, right leg back. Exhale, knee into the chest. And one more, breathing in and breathing out. And then as you take your right leg back this time, cross it over the left leg, drop the toes, spin the fingers out, and then curve your spine to the left, peeking back at the right foot. Sensing all the way up the right side of the body as you create this side bend. All right, with your torso coming back to neutral, pick the right leg up, step it all the way out to the right side. Directly out from your hip, walk your hands in, lifting your torso up. Take the right hand to rest on the right leg, and then side bend over to the right. All right, one more full breath. All right, with your in breath, lift up. And with your out breath, release your arm. And then we'll step the right foot forward. Coming into that lunge, again, you might take one step, you might take a couple of steps, but start to move the hips forward as your left hand comes down to the floor. Right hand to right thigh, you might even scoot that left knee back a little bit if needed as you begin to gently twist toward your right leg. All right, we'll take 3 cycles of breath. All right, and then release back to hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck your toes. Again, we lift up into downward dog. Checking back in with your fingers as they spread wide apart. Really shift some of the weight into your fingers. So try not to just fall into the base of your hands, but really use your fingers to be part of the support. All right, take another breath in. Rock forward, finding your plank pose. And exhale, back to downward dog. All right, start to walk hands and feet together so that you come into a forward fold. Gradually taking all your weight into your feet. Maybe your hands are resting on blocks. Maybe you're grabbing opposite elbows here. The knees can be softly bent or moving towards straight. But allow the head to release toward the earth, face and jaw relaxed. Couple of deep breaths. All right, as you release your arms, start to walk your hands up the fronts of your legs, rising gradually to stand. And so as you come to stand, we'll turn and step wide on the mat. And then we'll turn the right toes out towards the short edge. Turn the left toes slightly in. And then we'll take the arms out over the legs. Turn the head over to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bend your right knee. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale and bend. And then one more, inhale, straighten. And exhale and bend. Now keeping that right knee bent, We'll inhale and lean back towards the left leg. Take the right arm up, left arm down. Exhale, take the right forearm towards that right thigh, left arm up alongside the head. Again, inhale up and back, keeping the right knee bent. Exhale, shifting forward. All right, one more, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, pause here with your forearm resting on your thigh. Turn the head to look down towards the right big toe. And then slowly up beyond your upper arm. Once more back down towards your right big toe. Press down into that right foot, straighten your right leg, lift up, and release your left arm. So we'll do the same on the other side. So switch your feet, turn the left toes out, right toes slightly in. Take the arms out over the legs. Turn the head over toward the left side. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and bend your left knee. Again, inhale and straighten. Exhale and bend. And one more, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, keeping that left knee bent. Now inhale and lean back towards your right leg, left arm up. Exhale, left forearm to thigh, right arm towards the head. Twice more, inhale up and back. Exhale, shifting forward. And one more, breathing in. And breathing out. Now pausing here as you turn your head to look down toward that left big toe. And then up beyond your upper arm. And then back down toward the left big toe. And then press into your left foot, straightening the leg, lifting up. And release your right arm. All right, we'll step near the back of the mat. Feet about hip distance apart. As we inhale, press the hips back, float the arms up, finding chair pose. Exhale, folding over your legs, walk out to downward dog. And then breathing in, rock forward, finding one more plank pose. But from this plank, lower your knees so that you're in a knee plank, lift your feet. So relatively straight line from your knees to your head. So not like hands and knees where hips are over knees, but hips are forward here. So knee plank, take another breath in. And exhale, bend your elbows, take your belly and your chest all the way to the floor. Release your feet. Walk the arms forward, take your elbows underneath your shoulders. Gently press the forearms down into the floor as well as pulling the elbows toward your hips. Heart reaches forward. Organize your head and neck so that there's no discomfort. So if you're looking up and it bothers the back of your neck, look down slightly. Find a place where the neck is happy. And we'll take 3 cycles of breath. All right, after that 3rd round of breath, slowly lower your heart down to the floor. Head might rest on your hands, crossed one on top of the other, and then bend your knees. Sway the feet gently side to side. All right, and then release your feet down to the floor. We'll take the left arm out to the side, so directly out from the shoulder. Turn the head over to the right. Let the head rest on the floor. And then with your right hand, press down into the floor. As you turn your chest away from the floor, perhaps you stack your legs. Maybe that right knee stays down on the floor. Maybe you step the right foot back, kind of depending on what feels comfortable and steady in your body. But just looking for a bit of a stretch across the front of the chest, shoulder, and arm
specifically on the left side. All right, take 5 rounds of breath. All right, so after your 5th breath, slowly roll back onto your front. Take that left arm down alongside the torso to pause and rest. All right, then we'll take the right arm out to the side. Same thing, just straight out from the shoulder. Turn the head over to the left. Rest your head on the floor. Press down into that left hand as you start to turn the chest away from the floor. And then possibly stack the legs or keep the left knee down on the floor or step the left foot back. Sensing now into the right side of the chest, shoulder, and down the arm. All right, 5 rounds of breath. All right, after your 5th breath, slowly roll back onto your front. Take that right arm down alongside the body to pause and rest. All right, press yourself back up and into your seated position. We'll join our palms in front of the heart as we bow to the light within ourselves as well as each other. Thank you again for practicing with me today. I believe the next one I'll do is this upcoming Saturday. And then starting in May, it'll be Mondays and Saturdays rather than Wednesday and Saturday. So see you again sometime soon. Bye-bye.